Good afternoon everyone and welcome to another tournament stream. Today I'm streaming the grand finals from the challenges for the Asia server. So that is where we're going to begin. The room just appeared for some reason. The room invites from yesterday are still there as well. But hey, at least I got the right invite as well. And we are starting it off at Naval Frontier. It's going to be a best of 9, meaning that the first team to reach 5 victories is going to go through to, well, it's actually not going through, has won the Challengers tournament. I've been streaming so much these days that it's just basically my brain is all over the place. And I apologize in advance for any brain derps that I might have. I will be doing this solo as well because Fujit is streaming the grand finals from the professionals on his own channel. So be sure to check that out as well, even though you can't watch 2 streams at the same time. But yeah. Overall though, it's going to be a very busy day for me, but it will be fun as well. So for now, we are starting it off with NQ-E7 versus ECG, and like I said, whoever wins this matchup is the Challengers champion. There's still like little under 4 minutes left to go before we actually see a match, so that is plenty of time. Both teams do seem completely ready already though, taking a bunch of Kranwagens, a bunch of E5s, Vickers versus a bunch of Kranwagens, a bunch of E5s and a bunch of IS4s. And this is always like interesting because Naval Frontier is one of the maps, it isn't that big, but we learned yesterday from NA's matches that having a spotter can make all the difference. And even though all the tanks that ECG is taking are meta, without the data of where people are, it can still basically ruin the game for you. Because yesterday, well, on NA, it's earlier today, 3 AM for me at the time. But basically what we saw was that Jokers was taking a Vickers, and that Vickers gave Jokers the information they needed about Premo's team, about where they were and what they were doing and everything. And Premo, not having a light or a med, lacked that information, and it proved to be vital for Joker's victory, basically. It was beautiful to see. They played incredibly clever. If you basically... So far the NA games have been absolutely amazing, and getting up at that time of night has definitely... I've not regretted it at all. And I will be honest, there have been seasons where I have. But yeah, I can't wait to see what these two teams are going to do and how that will go. Should be good fun in any case. Someone on the chat just asked, when is EU final? EU finals happens at 5 PM CEST, I should say, which is in 4 hours. 4 hours. See, this is what I mean. I can't brain it all anymore. But yeah, in 4 hours the EU finals will kick off. And because the EU professional finals are actually earlier in the day, that also means that I can stream the EU Challengers finals, which I'm very happy with. I just need confirmation from Wargaming that they have set me and Fujit as spectator, because we intend to do that together again. 1.5 minutes left to go before we go into the match, the first game of at least 5 games. There is no real pressure just yet, of course. Like I said, the first team to reach 5 victories is the one that wins. And that means that until one team has 4 victories, there is no real match point. But yeah, I am curious to see what these teams are going to be doing and how it will go for them. I do also love NQ-E7's clan name, because they're actually called not quite E7. But it wouldn't be the first time that anything E7 has made me laugh, so I'm actually shouldn't be too surprised there. 35 seconds left to go before we go into the match. And sorry, I needed to sneeze. Ugh. But yeah, let's get ready for that first match. And let's just enjoy. Countdown clock has begun. We're getting ready to go into the actual game. At least there's only like 2 minutes between the matches. Like, I get the 5 minutes first one going, but it's just so long, and most of the time people are more than ready before then. And we see NQE7 taking similar avatars, whereas ECG is pretty much all over the place. And it always kind of looks funny, but NQE7 is also all sporting the same camouflage. And here we go. We have the Vickers heading towards the base B area. Probably just moving there to get some spots in. And he might be doing that just not yet, because JTFK is behind the rocks there. Ayanami-chan is waiting. C21 fired a blind shot, probably hoping that someone was spawning around base A. And as such, it's actually NQE7 that has been spotted a little bit. So they know that there's going to be people at base A. Tank Pro losing quite a bit of HP crossing over there. And now we have Chiyomi moving into cap base A. Holy Water passing base B, not even going for the cap here. Tank Pro is there as well. Shots are being fired. This is quite aggressive gameplay from NQE7. They've managed to get base A. They do lose a little bit of HP over it. But now, it is definitely interesting to see this. Very aggressive gameplay by the E5s from NQE7. I'm not sure that's going to work out well. They will have to make every shot count. And we have the Kranwagens now moving up towards base B. And this is what I meant. Now we have the IS-4s coming up behind. And it might have been a trap, honestly. This might have been their intention all along, because Coke Bottle is now in a lot of trouble. And he's not going to survive. Now, ECG is responding. We have Zhangpeng getting shot now. But one and only is not looking all too healthy. And we have Chiyomi actually dropping down to help with that. Chenyev at the top also taking shots. Basically, we're entering a bit of a brawl stage here, but it is a peculiar brawl. No one would really expect this. Base B is now being kept. We have Chiyomi. Shots are fired in multiple directions, but they're not really focus firing at this stage. Zhangpeng is the preferred target, especially now that they've taken base B. Marlin losing quite a bit of HP. Chiyomi now. Also, both teams have lost 2 tanks. HP-wise, it's going neck and neck. And position-wise, I would say that pretty much ECG has better positioning. Marlin is going to take another hit there, because he's taking too long to get around the rock. And there's not much he can do about it. And he got tracked, and thus he gets killed. Basically, the one-shots need to be taken out here. C21 is surviving on 13 HP. Glaive has barely any HP left. And we have Chiyomi actually trying to block the shot to make sure that his teammate survives, because they need that teammate to survive. There goes Glaive, there goes Chenyev, there goes K4. And now we have a Vickers in the middle. We have the C. Oof. That is 2 guns gone as well. And now it's just JTFK. But he's going to take out the Vickers unless Tank Pro manages to hide behind the rock. But him focusing on Tank Pro might not work out for him. Especially since there's multiple guns aimed at him. And for every time that he shoots someone else, he is going to get shot again as well. Holy Water now dropping in as well. And this is definitely NQE7's game. But what a strange gameplay that was. They played it so aggressively. I honestly did not think they would get away with that. But they did. Amazing. Very well played by NQE7. Focus fire on point. And ECG was basically looking for a reply. Coke Bottle actually moved in, but I think he moved in too early without support. And that gave NQE7 an advantage here. So that is the first match up and over. we're now going to get ready for the second match. Again, there's no real pressure just yet. Anything can still happen. It is a best of 9, so plenty of games to be had. And we have NQE7 now ready with 2 Kranwagens, 3 E5s, a Vickers and an IS4. And they're going to go up against 2 E5s, potentially 2 Kranwagens, 215B and 2 IS4s. Again, ECG not going for any spotter. And I'm kind of taking note of that now after seeing the NA matches last night. So let's see. 42 seconds left to go before we go into the second game. And then we'll see what happens, whether or not ECG can grab it back. I mean, like I said, there's no real pressure just yet, so it's just like all fun and games, I would say, but there is pressure on them. And now we've got some time left. Basically, this is always the boring part. When everyone is ready, there's not much to say yet, because not much has happened yet. And here we go. And I think, like, in this case, also last game, Tank Pro did play a very big role just by spotting and then getting around using the DPM and everything. So let's see what's going to happen this time around. ECG heading in the AB direction. And QE7 doing the same thing. I think that's mainly just like the place to be. Tank Pro taking a spotting position again. And ECG is actually going down the middle. And that's going to be interesting as well. We see shots happening, but no damage being done just yet. Holy Water now taking a hit, getting tracked. Base B being taken. We see aggressive gameplay by ECG this time. And basically NQE7 having to react. And they're going to be flanked. This is a pincer movement that they won't have seen. Well, they will have seen coming because they are spotted. But this is definitely interesting because they have 2 fully loaded Kranwagens here. And that's going to be very painful for them. Especially now that Happy Feet will be taken out. Coke Bottle is next in line to get basically the line of fire for NQE7. That shot missing being very vital. And now C21 is dealing with 3 tanks, but it also means that there's a gun disadvantage for NQE7 all across the battlefield for the rest. They really need to make sure that every shot counts here, that every shot pens. Holy Water and Marlin are not looking too healthy. It's taken them quite a long time to take out C21. And basically, it's 4 versus 4 right now. It will be about the focus fire. Ayanami-chan at the back is still getting shots in because they're basically overextending in ways where he can get the shots in. And one and only is not going to survive this. Now it is 3 versus 3, but HP-wise, ECG has an advantage. Glaive is in a horrible position there to get shot at, whereas the E5 and the IS4 from ECG can get pinsed here. It's basically about the focus fire. Ayanami-chan is now moving in. Tank Pro takes out K4. We have Ayanami-chan now moving in. And this is basically... Oof, that shot missing could prove to be absolutely vital here. They are trying to keep Glaive alive. He will survive another reload, that is for sure. Tank Pro is arriving at the back to get shot by Ayanami-chan. And basically, this... Oof, they're both one-shots. They're both going to be taken out. And it will be up to Tank Pro to turn this around. And he... Oof, this is going to be very tricky, even for a Vickers Light. We have Zhang Peng. All the shots have to work out now. Otherwise, it's not going to work out at all. That shot missing, though. Zhang Peng is not going to be happy with that. There we go. That was very much needed. And he still lives. He might make it. This is so close, though. He has to make this shot count. He has to make it work. If not, and he doesn't. This is way closer than either of them will have wanted. And basically now Zhang Peng pulling back allows Tang Pro to potentially run away. Might not work out though. He is using a corpse. But oh my god. Tang Pro kind of needs to get the bases if he wants to win this in another way. And Zhang Peng has no choice but to let him get away. He's gonna go to base A. Sure of that. And Tang Pro is going to get base B, which is his only choice to be fair, but... Oof. This is going to be very tricky. And I think this might be a bad call, because Zhang Peng is ready for that direction. And he kind of needs to take him out somehow. Will he be able to do that though? Zhang Peng hiding exactly as he needs to. And capping C won't be enough in this case. Tang Pro has to take him out. And he knows this. He doesn't have all that long. But he is running around to get that done. And this is interesting. This is very interesting. He has to be very careful with how he drives to not give away his position. Now he has been spotted. And he gets it! Oh my god! What a game though. This was so close. Tang Pro definitely man of the match. Look at that. This would have easily been an ace. Amazing. What a game. So now it is 2-0 for NQE7. They need 3 more wins in order to win. ETG still needs 5. But anything can still happen. We're moving on to Hallis. Different map, different mindset. And we'll see what happens. We see Tang Pro sticking with the Vickers, having done very well so far. Their voice must be like, oh, so happy right now. And we see 2 IS4s, 2 E5s, 2 Kranwagens and a Vickers. And on the ECG side we see 3 Kranwagens, 2 E5s, a T22 and an IS4. So they are taking a Met now. And when it comes to brawling, I would hand this to the T22 over the Vickers. But the view range of the Vickers is better. The gun depression of the Vickers is also better. So it's kind of depending on where they're going to go. But that last match though, wow. That was a close one. 22 seconds left to go before we go into the third match here. And this is the thing, like, when you get matches that are so close, you kind of have to regroup immediately because you only have 2 minutes until the next match. But you are going to go in on a high when you're NQE7 after the last match. And ECG basically has to regroup because this was a very close call. So let's see. Third match, here we go. And I kind of miss Fuji, to be honest, because there's so much babble here. Let's have a look. Hallis, one of my least favorite maps. And that has mainly to do with the fact that it's so small. It's a nice map for T6 and maybe T7, but for T10 I feel it's too small. NQE7 focusing on the C side. ECG a bit more spread out. It's actually Tang Pro that is going to move in and cap the base, or maybe not. Spots are happening. and Tank Pro is getting out of there. But it also means that ECG will have a point advantage. He is sticking around though to get some spots in, maybe keep them from capping base B as well. First shots are being fired, JTFK taking hits as he moves up, but so does Marlin and Happy Feet. Thing is though, JTFK is in a very precarious position here. Those Kranwagens are going to move in and they're going to clip him out. And that's going to be the end of JTFK. They will take hits in turn though, so they have to make sure that the gun is out of the equation very fast, because Glaive is not looking too healthy himself now. And getting tracked and basically in a horrible position there. And he gets blown up as well. A gun for a gun here. We have the E5s and Tank Pro now dealing with 2 E5s. Tank Pro arriving at the back. One and only taking damage here. And so far they're not getting any of their shots into those E5s. A little bit of sloppy gun work here. One and only is not looking too healthy. He's getting shot from both sides as well. There he goes. And these were a lot of shots by One and Only and Xiaomi and Tank Pro that did not go in. Zhangpeng has been taken out. Base C is now being capped. Ayanami arriving at the scene. The Vickers for some reason is no primary target just yet. K4 is being focused. Coke Bottle is arriving. And Xiaomi is not going to survive this. Especially those bounces were very expensive. And this seems to be the first match that NQE7 is going to lose, because it is 3 versus 5 now. And Tank Pro is not looking too healthy. But there were so many missed shots there. I would almost expect like server lag or something. Chen Yif still alive. There goes Tank Pro. Marlin and Happy Feet, the last ones alive. And that shot not panning either. ECG winning their first match in this best of 9. And there's nothing they can do about it. And there he goes. Relatively fast game. The Kranwagen is moving around to shoot JTFK in the rear. Made sense. Only Glaive just stood there. He didn't move in with the rest. He just stood there taking shots. Like literally in him, but also into JTFK. But that cost him so much HP. Just standing there. And it's little things like that that make all the difference. So now we are preparing for the 4th match of this best of 9. And ECG is slowly making a comeback. NQE7 now ready with 2 Kranwagens, 3 E5s, a Vickers and an IS4. Versus 2 Kranwagens, 2 E5s, 2 IS4s and a Vickers. Interesting to see that they've dropped the T22, because when it comes to brawling, the T22 is somewhat OP because of the draw armor and everything. But Vickers does have that spotting range. So let's see, 40 seconds left to go. And like I said, this is always the boring part, when everything is ready except for the game itself. To be fair, these teams ready up very, very quickly. I think they know beforehand what kind of tanks they're taking, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's have a look. I think also Hellas kind of invites brawls like this because it is so small. You rarely see a supremacy game, so to speak, on this map when it comes to tournaments, that is. And let's see. Also kind of curious how the professionals is going, but won't check that until this matchup is over. Ooh, we have Holy Water with a different camouflage. Not taking the one that everyone else is taking. And here we go. And QE7 again focusing on the base C side. Tank Pro moving between them to get to the other side. And we have Ayanami doing the same thing for the other side. Only they're abandoning base B altogether. Ayanami-chan is basically working as a spotter. Base A is being taken. Tank Pro has to be careful not to get spotted there. Chenyif has been spotted. They know that there's people there, especially since someone else just fired. Base A has been taken. Tank Pro is hightailing it out of there. And we see crossfire lines happening. ECG arriving at base C. Taking a shot into Marlin there. Who's going in the same position that JTFK was in last battle, which did not work out for them. And there we go. Base C has been capped. So they've got that little bit of advantage. And now it will be difficult for NQE7 to take base C back. JTFK there to prevent just that happening. Ayanami-chan at the back there. Spotting up Glaive. And basically Marlin is now in the tricky position that he can't move away from where he is. He can move forwards a little bit, but he cannot move backwards. And ECG is sort of like stacking together. Maybe to make a push into either one and only Glaive or Marlin there. Coke bottle taking a hit. JTFK as well. Basically, there's a little bit of bleeding going on here and there. Holy Water arriving. Base B now being taken. Tank Pro making sure of that. And we have ECG making a push. Holy Water turning around. And basically NQE7 has to capture this push. The fact that they now, Tank Pro is all the way at base B, which means that there's a gun advantage. Glaive taking a lot of hits here though. And has to be careful. He is the preferred target here. And he gets taken out first. ECG is losing a lot of HP over it though. Holy Water is gone as well. JTFK barely healthy himself. But that is a 2-gun advantage for ECG. And that's a big advantage to have. Marlin not looking too healthy. Ayanami-chan getting hit by Tank Pro there. We have one and only now being focus fired. C21 gets taken out by one and only. The focus fire is still there. But it is a bit of a chaotic battle. One and only has been taken out. Tank Pro really should just focus on running away and staying alive, because getting the shots in is important. But in this case, so is staying alive, because they have the 2 bases. Happy Feet moving in. They need to make sure that these guns are taken out of the equation. Chiyomi is not going to survive another reload. And now it is 3 versus 4. Tank Pro running off. Takes a hit as he does so though. Marlin barely alive. Ayanami not looking too healthy. Shooting Tank Pro, that is the preferred target right now. And there he goes, and there we go, 100 points, and NQE7 has the match. But this was close though. That capping off base B, even though it seemed to be a weakness for NQE7 for just a little bit, turned out to be exactly what was needed, because ECG would have had it otherwise. Very clever gameplay. Bit of luck involved in as well, I believe. 3-1. No match point for anyone just yet. But the pressure is slowly building. So let's see. We are moving on to Camp Stilla. My least favorite tournament map. We call it Camp Stilla for a reason. But hopefully we will see some nice aggressive games here. NQE7 changing their lineups. Tank Pro stays in the Vickers, which is I think a good choice, because he has proved to be quite vital there in multiple games now. But we see one Kranwagen, 4 E5s, the figures in the IS4, versus a Kranwagen, 2 E5s, a figures, 2 IS4s, and a mouse. So that's a very different lineup from ECG. First Super Heavy making an appearance as well, which can work out beautifully, but it can also impede you, as we have seen before. On NA, we saw mice most matches, and I say mice because there were multiple, but they can work wonders. It kind of depends on how you make them perform. Legacy give me an update on the professionals. It's currently 2-1-4 ID. I mean, you hear this in 5 minutes and then the score will be different, but still. And E7, the actual E7, is battling there as well. So that's going to be intense as well. But here we go into the 5th game of this best of 9. And let's have a look. I actually like being able to stream my game this wide. I didn't used to be able to, because if I wanted to keep an eye on YouTube, then that was not an option. But I'm actually using, like, the live control room is now on my iPad. And that means that I can use more of my laptop screen for this. It is a little bit tricky though. It has also meant that I can actually talk a little bit in the chat, because my laptop, if I were to do that, my laptop would pretty much hate me and maybe crash. So I tried to avoid that. But here we go, not quite E7, focusing on the C and A side. Tank Pro on his way towards base A, as is Ayanami-chan and all of ECG, with exception of the IS4, so we're going more towards the middle. And we're going to see some Citadel gameplay, I believe. Holy Water, a Marlin. Basically, Tank Pro is lit up, as is Ayanami-chan. They know that there's no campers on the ridge. They haven't spotted the IS-4 though, but now Coke Bottle has been spotted. And that means base B is pretty much not a choice here. Ayanami-chan and Tank Pro facing off against each other. E5 and Kranwagen, Genyif and K4. Moving in. Tank Pro is hightailing it out of there. And as Ayanami-chan takes a shot, he gets a shot in as well. And base C is pretty much, like, not completely undefended, because with those IS-4s there, you never know what's going to happen. But the Citadel is basically now in the hands of ECG, and that's going to be interesting as well, because not getting any spots in there might be important as well. Zhangpeng has been spotted. And I think they're expecting the mouse somewhere there, but now we have ECG actually pulling back a little bit away from base A. We have Tank Pro putting back, going over to the hill. Holy Water now making his way up the Citadel. Got spotted as he does so. A little bit of lines of fire happening. Little bits of damage being done. But this is pretty much an old Camp Stilla game, where not much is happening. And now the mouse has been found. I think they've been waiting for that. Holy Water taking a hit there. And we have Chiyomi moving in to take base A and perhaps put some pressure on the game. Ayanami-chan is there though. The mouse is getting shot at, but it's Ayanami that mainly takes a hit there. And they kind of need to get a base somewhere. I mean, someone does. And JJFK in that position is actually working out really well. Holy Water still holding. JJFK pretty much overextending, but getting away with it. He's still not lost any HP. Where is that right now? Chiyomi wanted to move in, but so does Ayanami-chan. Now we have Holy Water making a move. Taking a hit as he does so. The mouse getting rushed. And wanting to get Chiyomi. Xiaomi is in the water, has to be careful. K4 is taking him out. And that is the first gun out of the way. And Glaive is probably going to be next in line here. K4 is actually pulling back, wanting to get that clip back. Trusting JTFK to bounce a bit more. Holy Water is still alive. There goes JTFK. We have a brawl starting to happen on the other side as well. Zhengpeng and Marlin. Happy Feet getting rushed by no less than 3 tanks. And basically, this is the danger. Happy Feet is going to be taken out. Zhengpeng, not entirely certain. One and only chasing Ayanami-chan. Happy Feet is taking out Holy Water. Now getting shot from multiple directions, and there's nothing he can do about it. And this is NQE7 losing their second game. 3 tanks left for NQE7. K4 now having 2 shots in the barrel with Ayanami behind him. That shot missing somehow. And Glaive will probably get another shot in, or maybe not. Tank Pro is being focused on. Tank Pro is trying to get to his teammates. And there we go. Only one and only and Tank Pro left. And Tank Pro managed to survive another second or two. But one and only is going to go down. Ayanami-chan is going to go after Tank Pro. And takes him out. And it's a very slow going game. It was a classical Campsilla game. But ECG has it. Ooh, now it's 2-2. ID versus E7. And look at the damage difference as well. So many guns. Basically, only JJFK died. And that was exactly his function. Soak up as much damage and survive as long as he did. 3-2. Again, no real pressure just yet. Anything can still happen. And we are getting ready for the second game on Campsilla. But this is basically the thing, because there are so many Campolites, even without TDs, because in the tournament game, when you're working as a team, you can have any tank camp, basically. And it's just... it's a dull map. Because you get so many stalemate situations. Because it makes sense that people don't want to like venture into places where you know you're probably going to get shot at. But with 1 minute left to go, we see NQE7 now ready with 2 Kranwagens, 3 E5s even, a Vickers and an IS-4, to go up against a T-22, 2 Kranwagens, a Leo, 2 IS-4s and an E5. And I bet that Leo is going to have a function like a TD. We have seen that before, especially on Normandy. And the thing is that I don't advise anyone to do that in random battles, because that's not what the Leo is made for. In tournament battles, though, it is the function that the tank can hold. So let's see, 20 seconds left to go. And then we'll see the 6th game in this best of 9. And I like that it's going up pretty evenly, to be honest, because that means that these two opponents are semi-similar in level. And that means that they're both, like, they should be here, you know? So let's have a look. And after this match, there's still no match point. Well, at least there's still no match point right now. If NQE7 wins this one, then they get a potential match point for the next battle. And then the pressure will be on ECG. But right now, that pressure isn't there just yet. That being said, we've seen amazing comebacks throughout this season as well. So anything can happen, really. Tank Pro going on his own towards the Citadel, probably. And indeed, the Leo taking a TD position. And I wonder if Tank Pro is going to find him. K4 more towards the middle. No one at base A. Lots of tanks at base C. And ECG is being hyper aggressive here. And putting themselves in line of fire. They are focusing Glaive though. JTFK losing a whole lot of HP for it. And now, basically, NQE7 has to respond and has to respond quickly. I think that was an ammo rack, to be honest. Not entirely certain, or it was like amazing focus fire. But JTFK and Glaive are both gone. Happy Feet is not looking too healthy. And they are focusing on Coke Bottle, who is using the corpse of his teammates to hide behind. And this is basically, it's all about the focus fight. This is an early brawl. And ECG might have chewed off more than they can take. There goes Coke Bottle. Happy Feet is still alive. Holy Water is taken out. Chenyev getting shot at now. Ayanami-chan has not been spotted. We have Tank Pro taking shots from the other side. Happy Feet has been taken out. And now C21 moving in to get behind those E5s. And that focus fire, that was 3 lines of fire almost flawlessly into one target. And now Chiyomi is in trouble. K4 is taken out, so is Chiyomi. And now one and only is... This is basically what I meant with the roar of the Leo. Because that Leo is proving to be vital. It is 4 versus 2 guns. And even though Chenyev is not going to live to tell the tale, assuming that the shots pen, there's basically just too many guns, and Marlin is still out in the open. He can't really do anything about that. The Leo so far has taken no damage. Tank Pro wanted to get shots in. Zhangpeng arriving with a full clip. And there's not much they can do about that. Taking a big hit there. But this is basically it. Every which way they turn, they get shot from the other side. And it is very clever gameplay by ECG. Very aggressive, but it works out for them. Sang Pro is still alive, but this is basically... It is definitely... There you go, Ayanami-chan now arriving. It is ECG's game. Sang Pro now in the water. Gets taken out by Ayanami as he goes down. And there we go. It is 3-3. Anything can still happen. That is this is basically exactly what I mean. Like, anything can still happen. No one is out yet. There's no match point for anyone just yet. It is 3-3. Amazing. And in the meantime, it is 3-2 for E7. So not quite E7 and E7. Both battling it out for challengers and professionals respectively. And we are moving on to Yukon for the 7th game in this best of 9. And to be fair, can you just imagine the voice chats here? I mean, it's gotta be intense when it's going up so close. And basically, this has just got to feel good for ECG as well. And we see very different lineups appearing now. We have not quite E7 taking 2 mice, a Kranwagen, 3 E5s and IS4. And we have ECG taking 2 IS4s, 2 E5s, an AMX50B, a mouse and a VK90. And someone talking Russian on the stream. Just be sure that if you want me to understand what you're saying, speaking Russian is not going to work. Because I have no idea. Not even my translator is making sense of that. And here we go. Counter clock is beginning. I'm giving up on trying to follow the Russian. I have no idea what it means. And let's go. Dun 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 dun. Thing is, with the 5 minutes delay, you know that the score is probably already changed now for E7 or ID. And it just makes it all the more interesting. This is why, another reason why I love commentating. Because you get to see it live, so to speak. And it's sort of live for you as well, but with delays. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but yeah. Here we go. Into the sky we go. The mice heading towards base C. The rest of NQE7 heading towards base A. And pretty much all of ECG heading towards base A as well, with the exception of Zhengpang, who's heading towards base B. So that's going to be an interesting show. I'm actually going to take a different position to see if I can show you the battlefield more as they meet. Oh, Tank Pro losing so much HP so very quickly. That was focus fire for sure. Oop. Camera doing a derp there. And now he's a one-shot for anyone, and that's not gonna feel good. Lines of fire happening. ECG moving in aggressively. Chen Yiv now also losing a whole lot of HP very, very quickly. Happy Feet arriving in the mouse and taking out Chen Yiv. Tank Pro is still alive, if barely, but them wanting him so badly might not be working out as intended. He does go down though. But oof. Glaive being occupied by the VK90 and Zhengpang. We have Happy Feet chasing after K4. The focus fire is not quite there. Happy Feet now turning around. Ayanami-chan has been taken out. So has One and Only. So has Glaive. There's a gun advantage now for ECG. It can still go every which way. But this is not going to be easy for either team. There's so many low HP targets on ECG's side as well. Coke Bottle is taken out. HP wise, NQE7 still has the advantage. That's not going to last that long though. C21 now potentially one shot. The VK90 arriving. Holy Water not getting shot at VK. Not sure what was going on there. K4 is taken out. Now we only have a mouse and a VK90. And Holy Water is still alive. Getting actually blocked by his own mice. But Zhengpang and JJFK are both turning to deal with Marlin. And he's probably not going to survive for it. But look at the HP just dropping away from JJFK there. And now it's just Zhengpang. And this is NQE7's game. But it looked to be going a little bit differently at first. The focus fire not being there making all the difference in this specific match. And NQE7 just had a little bit more of it than ECG. Xiaomi wanted to get in there. Now pretty much arriving. And we see mouse hugging ensuing. There was a little bit of fire, I believe, on Happy Feet. There we go. Holy Water still alive, by the way. And that looks to be the case still. Zhengpang almost gone. He held for as long as he could. But against so many guns, there just wasn't any possibility for them. Very aggressive game here. And now there's pressure. Now NQE7 is up for match point. And basically this is it. This is the pressure. It's for... There's... Oof. E7 also up for match point now. Intense. Awesome. Thank you, Legacy, by the way, for keeping me up to date with the scores. I really do appreciate that. Because I'm sort of like invested in both. Even though I'm streaming the challenges, I'm also invested in the professionals. But here we go. Second match on Yukon. 8th game of the best of 9. We see NQE7 taking 2 mice, a Kranwagen, 3 E5s and an IS4. Versus potentially 2 IS4s, 2 E5s, a Vickers, a mouse, and a VK. And that's... Oh my god, this is basically... It's intense. Like, ECG has to win the next one if they want to have a chance still. And then we get a tiebreaker. NQE7 has to win one more. And then they've got the Challengers tournament. 42 seconds left to go. And then we get to see what happens in this potentially last game. But this is basically what you do it for. Like, when it's intense, when it's going up like this. That's just awesome. So let's have a look. 16 seconds left before we go into the 8th game. And I'm kind of curious how this will go if we see another aggressive match like this. But it's basically just been with the rushes and basically the chaotic F-fests that are happening. It is basically just the focus fire. Whichever team has the most focus fire, and generally whichever team gets the first kill, they have the advantage. So let's see. The tension is there. Yeah. Thank you, Yusuf. I'm glad I'm making some sense. This is basically, the thing is, I'm not even playing, and I feel the tension. I feel the feeling, so to speak. So we have base B and base C going to be kept. Happy Feet the mouse going into base B4 and QE7. And again, the battle is probably going to happen around base A. Coke Bottle taking some big hits already. JTFK as well. Marlin holding behind some timber. I still find it amazing that tank shells can't shoot through wood, but hey, that's me and the realism of this game. Holy Water crossing over a little bit. And basically, we have tanks holding at C. We have Happy Feet moving in. Marlin going for base A. Getting that pressure on. Trying to force ECG into reaction. Holy Water going with him. But pushing a little bit more. Taking a shot into JTFK. And this is the thing. The VK90 can be amazing. But he's not in the best of positions for him. He's not side scraping. He's actually being focused on right now. And ECG basically being forced into a corner. JTFK the preferred target, and he is the first one out of the equation. Coke Bottle going to be the next target in line. Happy Feet getting set on fire. Still alive, but then gets taken out along with Coke Bottle. And basically now we have Chenyev being focused by no less than 6 guns. Holy Water is not going to survive this, but not before Chenyev is taken out. It is 6 versus 4. And unless miracles happen, this should honestly be NQE7's game. And that would mean they have the Challenges Championship. They do need to actually make the hits though. Marlin not looking too healthy. K4 pulling back, being pushed. Holy Water still alive, taking a shot but it not penning. K4 is looking at him though, so he has to be careful. At this stage you want to keep your guns alive, you want to keep the advantage. And the more that K4 is focusing on Holy Water, the more shots the rest of the team is going to be able to get into him. He is pulling back, he gets tracked. Glaive is going after him. Ayanami-chan now being focused. C21 not looking too healthy. There goes K4. And this has got to feel good for NQE7. Ayanami-chan now being focused. Yeah, Holy Water, exactly. You said it. One and only getting focused here. There we go. Only Zhangpan is left. GG's and well plays are already happening. And this has got to feel good. NQE7 trying to finish it off with the mouse. The mouse still proving to be a hard target here. But with so many. And there we go. Massive congratulations to Not Quite E7. Amazing. Very well played. The focus fire on point, especially this last match. Keeping their low HP targets alive just that little bit longer. Making all the difference. Commiserations to ECG, you held your own very well, made it this far. but Anq e7 is just that little bit too strong. And let's have a quick look at what has happened in the professionals. Because hopefully that is known now. No, that is still not known. Oof. Basically, I really want to know what is going to happen, whether or not e7 is going to take this home, because then would be like both e7s, because they're not affiliated, but they are affiliated. Not quite e7 taking it home, though, is amazing on its own. And I really just want to know what has happened in this stage for e7. So I'm basically just reloading it and reloading it repeatedly. And seeing what has happened. Because those games are going up pretty well as well. Because when it's 4-3 for e7, that means that they're also in the 8th game. And it's all about bringing it home, really. Let's see. I'm basically just, like I said, I'm just clicking, I'm waiting. And at the same time, I'm not streaming this. So I don't know. But oof, this is intense. I'm just going to quickly look up YouTube. Because I know that Fujit is streaming this. He reached 6k subs yesterday, which is amazing on its own. And he definitely deserves that. And let's see, that is still going on. Match has just begun over there on the stream. So I'm kind of just like, oh, I can see it here sooner than I can see it on stream. If it is over, but they might be going to a tiebreak, I don't know. No, that is still going. I'm going to close off this stream. I'm going to have a look at Fujit's stream. And thank you all for watching. Massive congratulations to Not Quite E7 for taking home the tournament, the Challengers tournament. Very well done. And I'll be back for EU in a little bit. Not as commentator, but as analyzer. But still, I'll be there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll be seeing you guys the next time. Bye-bye.